Anthony Walker, a black British teenager in Liverpool, was just 18 when he was brutally murdered in a racially motivated and unprovoked attack. He was a devout Christian, loved basketball, and was known by his friends and family of having a good sense of humour, his empathy for others, and his work ethic. He planned to finish college and head to university in America to study law. However, on the 30th of July 2005, his life was taken away from him by Michael Barton, brother of the footballer Joey Barton, and also his cousin Paul Taylor. The evening of the 30th of July 2005 had been pretty remarkable for Anthony. He was at home babysitting his nephew with his girlfriend Louise Thompson for much of it. Once his family duties were done, he walked with Louise and his cousin Marcus to the local bus stop. Once the group arrived, a stranger, Michael Barton, proceeded to shout racial abuse at Anthony and Marcus. They decided to walk on to another bus stop rather than stick around, but Michael and his cousin Paul Taylor followed them in their car and continued harassing them. Michael and Paul then attacked the group. Louise and Marcus managed to escape, but Anthony was stabbed in the head with an ice axe and he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead at 5:25 AM. Michael and Paul fled to Amsterdam. However, after being publicly named as suspects and after a video appeal from Michael's footballer brother Joey Barton, who said in a televised appeal the footballer called on Michael to come home. The horrific killing of Anthony Walker has shocked the country. Those responsible for the senseless death of any kind of a decent young man must be brought to justice. My sincere condolences go out to Anthony's family. My side of the Barton family are sickened by his death. Although I was not brought up with Michael, I urge him to come forward and give himself up to the police. Michael, if you have any information about what happened, you have to tell the police. You must do this for the Walker family so they can mourn Anthony and because you know it's the right thing to do. The footballer is originally from Houghton but is not close to his brother, and the pair are believed to have been brought up separately after their parents split up. After that appeal was put out by Joey Barton, they returned to Liverpool 4 days later. Once back in the city, they were arrested and formally charged with Anthony's murder. A funeral was held for Anthony on the 25th of August 2005 and it was attended by over 3,000 mourners. The whole of Liverpool was shocked and grieving at the loss of the young man's life in such a hateful and barbaric way. The entire service was a broadcast on the big screen in the city centre.
But I believe they're such unique people with such big hearts. The Scousers are like the water in the desert, the blanket when you're cold. They're just a unique set of people and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
G, you are the most remarkable and inspirational woman I've ever met, and it's been an absolute pleasure and an honour to talk to you.
And you. God bless you. Thank you.
You better read.
Yeah, you can find out more about the Anthony Walker Foundation on their website. That is www.anthonywalkerfoundation.com.
The trial. Taylor and Barton were put on trial between November and December 2005. Taylor from Houghton, Merseyside was 20 when he murdered Walker and he pleaded guilty to murder. Michael Barton, however, denied the charge of murder, and after a 2-week trial, it took the jury just 7.5 hours to deliver a unanimous guilty verdict. Michael Barton was sentenced to 17 years in prison for the murder of Anthony, and also Paul Taylor was sentenced to 23 years and 8 months for Anthony's death. Speaking to reporters outside the courtroom, Anthony's mother, G. Walker, said she had forgiven her son's killers in line with her Christian beliefs. "I've got to forgive them," she said at the time. "I still forgive them. My family and I stand by what we believe, forgiveness."
You said one of the most remarkable and astonishing things that I think captured everybody who watched that interview, when you said that you showed no hatred whatsoever towards those two thugs who murdered Anthony. You felt a motherly instinct and you wanted to sit them down in a room and talk to them about why they had so much hate in them. Have you had any communication with them? Has there been any sign of remorse from either of those two?
Most recently there's been an incident with Facebook. Paul Taylor, that made reference to him that he'd posted racial things.
And he was the one that actually struck the blow that killed Anthony?
Yes, he was. And he'd written to me to apologise, saying that it wasn't him who placed those remarks, because he understands that we're suffering enough and he wouldn't want to cause us any more pain. And he understands that there are questions that I'd like answered, and he will avail himself when I'm ready to speak to him.
The Crown Prosecution Service in Merseyside was so moved by the tragedy, Anthony's living dreams to study law, that they created the CPS Anthony Walker Law Scholarship in 2008. The grant is open to any black or minority ethnic student who wants to study for the legal practice course. Three other people were later found guilty of helping Barton and Taylor flee to the Netherlands before the eventual arrest. On the 10th of May 2006, Robert Williams was convicted of providing money and booking a hotel room for the pair, and he was sentenced to 2 years and 4 months. Paul Mawson was sentenced to 11 months in prison for providing a getaway car, and a woman called Tracy admitted assisting the offender and received an 11-month suspended sentence and 50 hours of community service. Michael Barton is now in an open prison and could be released this summer. A source said depending on his behaviour, Barton could be out in August. In 2016, he had a year cut from his time, leaving Anthony's mum, Dr. G. Walker, feeling betrayed. Yet Dr. Walker has said our justice system is the laughingstock of the world. Life definitely doesn't mean life, but I choose to forgive because living a life of hate is so destructive.
One of the things that he would have addressed and fulfilled and put to right, because that was his intention, to put to right a lot of the wrongs. I know he couldn't do it by himself, but at least he would have made a dent, an address, through his lawyer, through his music, through his... He wanted to be a judge. He wanted to be an actor. He wanted to be a dancer. He wanted to be a sports star. All those things will never be realized, and we can't do it. I'll never get to see what his children would be like. I never get to see him married or graduate. All I know is I miss him. I miss him. It should never have happened.
10 years on, in the same location as the brutal murder of Anthony Walker, a celebration will take place to commemorate the teenager's life. Now, the people of Huyton have requested that the celebration take place here. Them and many people across Merseyside want to show their support to the family in their fight for racial harmony across Merseyside, and to make sure that the name of Anthony Walker lives on.